Hello, I'm Vince, the creator of DotNetTorque, and I'm going to go over some basics of how this whole thing comes together. So what we're looking at is the solution for the FPS starter. This is the package I wrote that has this is the project I wrote that has no packages. Everything's done directly. Um, I have several different builds. I have a build for right here. That's an empty project. So all it is a template for you to create your C# in. And then I have a full conversion, which is line by line conversion of the starter.fps from TorqueScript line for line converted to C#. And then I have the no core conversion, which is where I stripped out and combined the core files with the scripts folder. So just to give you an idea that right now there are 3 different solutions available. We'll be looking at the no core conversion. A lot of people have been asking me, will we have debugging, what type of, how will the environment work? And right now I'm looking at AI Player. This is a modified AI player that I wrote. Some of it'll look familiar, like shape-based.setImage trigger. So basically, that's turning the trigger off. Everything has IntelliSense. So if you give me a second here, I can show you what I mean. You do need to know what type of object you're dealing with. So there is a little bit of ramp up time. You have to know that the player is a class and it's based on shape base. But once you know that, you can do something like shape base. And as you can see, I've got, can close, all of the console functions that are available to you are available as externs inside of C#. So you can set basically, and as you can see, I'm getting IntelliSense too. I have imported all the IntelliSense out of the engine as well. So, and that goes along with shape base, and then you can also look at game connection. So if we look at game connection, you'll see all of the console functions for game connection. You can say player. I think it's uppercase P. Yeah. So if you know what I mean. So you have to know what type of object you're dealing with, and you have to know what it inherits from. That's one of the downsides. So player is based off of shape base. So you can use on a player object, you can use player functions and shape base functions, so forth and so on. So when you're dealing with the file system. You have to know that you're dealing with a file object, so forth. So, like, for example, if we go into, let's see here, I think server. Right here you can see where I'm using game connection, set connection args. Result equals net connection dot connect local. Everything here, right here, util.make relative path. These are all functions that are inside that are TorqueScript functions that are available inside of C# as C# functions. And you have the ability to call, if there isn't an extern for what you're looking for, like in this case, allow connections, you can always use a console call connotation, which is console.call, and then you say the name of the function and then the parameters. This is better than a straight eval or exec, because it uses the trampoline, but it's passing everything as object parameters versus it passing a string to the console and the console parsing the string and determining what the arguments are and so forth and so on. So that's a little bit more efficient than saying in a console.eval allow connections paren true close paren. That's less efficient because it's got to parse out the parameters. You have set variables. You can set a variable like many different ways. As you can see in the IntelliSense, I provide interfaces for pretty much every data type that Torque has. So you don't have to do a whole lot of casting on that. There's some other things that you'll find where I'm sitting here, and let's take a look, like export. You can export. The util class is a neat little class. Basically, everything that's a function but it's not attached to an object is shoved into the util class. So most of it's console functions, but the math functions are in there, like matrix, multiply, and as you can see, it takes transform f's. So you don't even have to, if you're used to dealing with transforms in the C++ code, they're structured identical. So for a transform, you've got the position, you've got the orientation, and those type of parameters. And then here, you have your field counts and so forth and so on. So everything that you have available inside of TorqueScript, it's available here. I guess some of it could be a point of trying to figure out where it is, but I've even given you a little bit of a heads up on that as well, because part of the documentation, hold on here, let me bring it up, new folder, software, Wiley Docs, that you'll receive is the .NETTorque SDK, which has every function that's available in the engine and where it belongs. So, as you can see, I guess I should make it a little bit larger. If we wanted to look for game connection objects methods, we can see that, well, there's activate ghosting. The list goes on. And it's all in the documentation, so you can see what's going on, what the parameters are. So if we wanted to see what chase cam is, it'll tell you what the C# syntax is. It'll tell you what the Visual Basic syntax is. It'll tell you what the Visual C++ syntax is. So everything is documented, as in what it takes and how to call it. And of course, this documentation is included with .NETTorque. So let's go ahead and close that. So at least you'll be able to find what the functions you're looking with, and after a while, you just start to realize